Hello children, welcome to today's session of online class of Sri Gokulam Public School. Children, today we are going to continue the same chapter, that is accounting for share capital. Let us discuss more about some of the concepts and terms related to this chapter. Children, you are familiar with the balance sheet of a company. You know that balance sheet is in this vertical form of balance sheet. We have as a Roman letter 1 equity and liability, and Roman letter 2 as assets. There is subclassification in each of these items. The first item under equity and liability is the shareholders fund, and under shareholders fund we know it is the first item is share capital. Today we are going to discuss about this share capital and its various subclassification. Here is the format of a balance sheet where we have disclosed share capital. So while drawing the extract of a balance sheet, you can see here equity and liability as the first heading. Then we have shareholders fund, and just below that you have to write share capital. Children, if there are more items in one particular head, that is in share capital, there is more than one subclassification. So that we have to show as a separate note, that is known as note to accounts. So before that you have to mention here note number 1, that is your working note number 1. Then we have to write down notes to account as a separate box. So note to accounts. Then write down number 1. Number 1 means this number 1 is the working note number 1. Then write down share capital. Now you are going to subclassify this share capital in the following way. Please listen to this very carefully. The first item under share capital is authorized capital. Under authorized capital, we know that there are two classes of shares, that is equity shares and preference shares. So you have to write equity shares, how many shares you are going to subscribe and what is the rate of one share. That also you will mention over here, and then multiplying the total number of shares with the unit value of the share, you will get the whole amount of the equity shares. So that we will discuss while doing the problems. So that the first category of share capital is the authorized capital. Then comes issued capital, and under issued capitals also that two classes of equity shares and preference share have to be shown. Then we have subscribed capital. Under subscribed capital, there are two more types of capital, that is subscribed and fully paid up, and subscribed but not fully paid up. You can see here the terms like paid up, called up, that we will discuss in the coming slides. Okay, so these are the classification of share capital. You can see here calls in arrears which have been subtracted and forfeited shares which have been added. Children, these terms we will discuss in the coming chapters. Okay, when the chapter proceed, we will have more clarity with these terms. So for today you just have to understand that in share capital we have subclassification of shares as authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital. Under subscribed we have subscribed and fully paid up, and subscribed but not fully paid up. And you have to subtract costs in arrears and add forfeited shares. So this is the way you have to represent, and the total answer what you get after adding and subtracting the whole thing, that is the share capital amount, and the answer what you get here, that you have to show over in the balance sheet under share capital. Now let us discuss what are each of these terms and what does it means. First of all, authorized capital. It refers to that amount which is laid down in the clause of the memorandum of association of a company. In our previous class, we have discussed how the companies are incorporated, how it gets established. So they have to go for you have seen that promotion stage is there, incorporation stage is there. So incorporation stage, they have to present a memorandum of association to the registrar. At that time, in memorandum, there are some clauses in which the authorized capital of the company have to be mentioned. So whatever amount which you have written in the memorandum of association, that amount is referred as authorized capital. Okay, that is the maximum amount which a company is registered and authorized to raise from the public by issue of shares. By issuing the shares, the company can raise the money or capital, and that is authorized capital is the maximum amount. Beyond that, the company is not permitted to take or issue the shares or raise the money from the public. That is a maximum. Authorized capital is the maximum amount. Just remember it. Beyond that amount, the company is not allowed to take any single money. Not even 1 rupee should be collected. That is what is mentioned in memorandum as authorized capital. It is the maximum amount. This authorized capital is also known as registered, nominal, or authorized capital. So these are the different names for this authorized capital. Next, we have in that format issued capital. Children, issued capital means that part of the authorized capital. It is one part of authorized capital which is offered to the public for subscription. We are familiar with the word subscription. You have heard in YouTube and all that, subscribe our channel. You have subscribed your newspapers. So when you subscribe something, you will get the benefit of that in a coming years. So the public, when a share is offered to the public can subscribe it. Okay. So authorized capital, that part of authorized capital which is offered to the public so that they can subscribe it. It also includes the subscription with shares offered to the vendor for subscription other than cash is called the issued capital. So these things you will come to know when our chapter proceeds. So you just remember that authorized capital is issued capital is one part of authorized capital which we can offer to the public for subscription. Next, here is the difference between authorized and issued capital. Meaning, it is amount stated in the memorandum which a company can raise as a share capital of the company. And issued capital, it is a nominal value of part of authorized share capital which is issued for subscription. It is disclosed or it is mentioned in the memorandum of association, but issued capital is not mentioned in the memorandum of association. Whether one can exceed the other. Children, remember that authorized capital is equal to or more than the issued share capital, but issued share capital cannot exceed the authorized capital, as we know that issued capital is a part of authorized capital. Next, what is subscribed capital? It is the portion of the issued capital. So authorized capital is a part of issued capital is a part of authorized capital, and subscribed capital is a part of issued capital which has been subscribed by the public, which have been accepted by the public. The company have offered the share, and that part of the share which is the public is ready to subscribe, that subscribed part of share is known as subscribed capital. That is applied for and allotted by the company. Thus, face value of the allotted share is known as subscribed capital. Next is called up capital. The portion of subscribed capital which which the shareholder are called upon to pay is termed as called up capital of the company. Children, the company have a choice. They can collect the money of capital from the shareholders as a lump sum in one single installment itself, or they can in many installments they can purchase or they can collect the capital. So if they are collecting the capital in installment, that is more than one time period, it is to be remembered that whenever they call for that installment, it is called as called up capital. Okay, whenever they call for this installment, it is known as called up capital. So more than one time they can make the payment or capital money. Next is paid up capital. So the amount of called up capital which have been actually paid by the shareholders. When the company call for the capital and when the shareholders pay the money of the called up money, that time it is known as paid up capital. And the amount yet due, and if the shareholders is not paying that capital amount, at that time it become due, and what is at that time it is known as calls in arrears. Next is the reserve capital. Children, sometimes a company by means of special resolution decides that certain portion of their uncalled capital. Uncalled capital means that part of installment which is not yet called by the company. So that will be called at the time of liquidation. So such a part of uncalled capital is termed as reserve capital. Now we can see a difference between reserve capital and capital reserve. First thing, the meaning. It is that part of uncalled capital which cannot be called up except in the event of winding up. So by special resolution, the company decide that part of the installment which is not called by the company and will be called up only in the event of winding up of the company. That is known as reserve capital. And what is capital reserve? It is that part of the reserve which is not free for distribution as dividend. You know very well what is reserve. The some part of amount which is set aside for future use of the business. So capital reserve is such a reserve which is not free for distribution as dividend. This amount will not be taken to be distributed as dividend to the shareholders. That is the difference between reserve capital and capital reserve. This is one of the important question which is from this chapter's point of view. Creation. Then it is an uncalled capital. How this is formed reserve capital? It is an uncalled capital. And what is capital reserve? It is created out of the capital profit. That is when you sell a fixed asset and you got some profit, that is a capital profit. Then is it optional or compulsory? It is not compulsory to have a reserve capital, but it is compulsory, it is appropriate, we can say, to transfer capital profit to capital reserve. Then this resolution, only through special resolution we can go for a reserve capital, but for capital reserve there is no special resolution required. Writing off of capital losses. It cannot be used to write off capital losses, but it can be used to write off our losses, or this money can be used to write off our losses. Disclosure. It is not disclosed or shown in the balance sheet, but it is disclosed, shown in the notes to account on shareholders fund under the head reserves and surplus. So under the head reserves and surplus you can find capital reserve. Okay, so this is the difference between the reserve capital and capital reserve. Now